Hi, this is Anil and welcome to the video tutorial for the Learning Guide on C++ programming. So in this tutorial we're gonna learn about the constructors in C++. So a constructor is nothing but a special function or method which has no return type and the same name of the class. So these constructors or these special functions or the methods are called when you create an object of a class. So we're gonna see all that in detail. So here for the demonstration purpose we have a class human and we're gonna create a constructor now. So I'm gonna specify the access specifier as public, and now we're gonna write the constructor. So a constructor is a special function or the method which has the same name of the class and no return type. So it's gonna be human and then a pair of parentheses similar to the functions or the methods, and then a pair of curly braces. So here whatever the statements we write in this function or this constructor, that will be called or executed when you create an object of this class human. So here, just for the demonstration purpose, we're gonna print out using the cout. Let's say constructor is called when you create an object of human. Alright, now let's end this line. Okay, the next thing is you can define this constructor inside this class, or you can define that using the scope resolution operator, which we have learned in the previous tutorial. So in both ways you can define the constructor, but you should make sure that the constructor should have the same name as the class name and it should not have any return type. Alright, now I'm gonna create an object of this class human. In my main function I'm gonna write human and let's call it as Anil, and that's it. I'm gonna build and run this. You guys can see here, when we create an object, the constructor is called automatically by the C++, and that's why we get constructor is called when you created an object of human. So another thing is you can't call this constructor in your program manually. It is called automatically by the C++ when we create an object of a class. So here I don't have any way to call this human constructor or this method. So the next thing is, what is the use of these constructors? Since these constructors are called automatically when we create an object, they are normally used to initialize the properties of this class. So here, just for the demonstration purpose, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create two private properties, and let's call them as string name and int age. So now we have two private properties. So what we can do is we can initialize these two properties in these constructors. So here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write name equal to no name and age equal to 0. So once we create an object, this name and age will be initialized to the values. So the next thing is, we're gonna create another function just to print out the values of this name and age, just for the demonstration purpose. So it's gonna be void display, and I'm gonna print out name and end the line, and it's gonna be age. Alright, so now when we create this object Anil, the members or the properties name and age will be initialized to a value of 0, and after that, to check out that initialization, we're gonna call the display function called display, and that's it. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna build and run this. Okay, we have an error. Okay, I have added the semicolon. We should add the colon while writing or specifying the access specifier. So I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna build and run it again, and you guys can see here constructor is called when you create an object of human, and properties of this class are initialized to no name. Okay, it is no name and a value of 0. And the next thing is, in the previous tutorials, we haven't created any constructor in our program, and still our program worked properly. That's because, this default constructor is automatically called, it is predefined with no statements inside it. And if you want to execute any statements inside that constructor, then only you need to specify this, like, the way we have done here. Otherwise, it will be automatically constructed by the C++ with no statements inside it. And the next thing is why we have declared this constructor as public. That's because all of you know that if we declare it as private, then we can't access that outside these functions. Let's say if we had this constructor human as private, then when we create an object here in this main function, the C++ needs to call this constructor. At that time it will produce the error because private properties or the methods cannot be accessed outside the class. So here, just for the demonstration purpose, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one and I'm going to paste it in this private block and here, and let me align it properly. Alright, now I'm going to save this. I'm going to build and run this. You guys can see we got error, and if I open up the logs, it says human is private, so you can't access that or use that outside this class. So you can't access that private constructor outside this class. We can say that the constructors are normally declared or defined in this public access specifier area. So a constructor is a special function which is called automatically by the C++ when you create an object of a class, and this constructor has the same name as the class and it doesn't have any return type, and there is no way that we can call this constructor manually. It is automatically called by the C++, and these constructors are normally used to initialize the properties of the class. So this is it, guys. This is about the constructors, or the introduction to the constructors in C++. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like my Facebook page, and stay updated with my new video tutorials, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.